Japan has a centuries-old beauty secret that people still rely on today because it fades dark spots, melasma, and stubborn pigmentation faster and more gently than many modern treatments. What makes this method so powerful is that it doesn't try to bleach or strip the skin. Instead, it follows the core philosophy of Japanese skincare: balance first, healing always, and consistency over intensity. The entire approach is built on protecting the skin barrier while encouraging a brighter, clearer, more even complexion through gentle, steady renewal. This traditional technique works because it targets pigmentation from multiple angles. It calms excess melanin activity, boosts natural cell turnover, and prevents inflammation that leads to uneven tone. Scientifically, it supports the skin's moisture levels, which is crucial because dehydrated skin often holds onto pigmentation longer. By strengthening the barrier, the skin becomes more resilient, smoother, and better able to repair discoloration without irritation. That's the reason this method has lasted through generations in Japan. It works with the skin, not against it. Japanese beauty culture has always focused on rituals rather than quick fixes, which is why this method is still trusted today. It uses simple, skin-friendly ingredients that brighten naturally and make the complexion look clearer, softer, and glowing without harsh acids or aggressive treatments. Many people who struggle with dark spots or melasma find this approach far more sustainable because it keeps the skin healthy while fading discoloration steadily. In this video, you'll learn exactly how the routine works, the ingredients that make it effective, why dermatologists appreciate its gentle science, and how you can apply the full method at home for visible results. You'll also understand how this traditional practice fits into the broader Japanese beauty routine and why it remains one of the most reliable ways to achieve radiant, even-toned skin. Should I reveal more Japanese skincare rituals in future videos? Comment Japan. Traditional Japanese brightening ingredients are some of the most effective skin evening tools in the world because they work with the skin instead of fighting against it. For centuries, Japan has relied on natural, nutrient-dense ingredients like rice water, fermented extracts, kojic acid, and green tea to fade dark spots, soften melasma, and restore radiance without irritation. What makes these ingredients special is how precisely they target pigmentation while protecting the barrier, something many harsh brightening treatments fail to do. Rice water is one of the oldest Japanese beauty secrets, and its brightening power comes from a compound called inositol. This nutrient helps improve skin cell turnover, reduces dullness, and boosts hydration. Hydrated skin reflects light better, which instantly makes pigmentation look softer, but rice water also gradually fades discoloration by supporting healthy barrier repair. When the barrier is strong, melanin production becomes more stable and balanced, which is crucial for people dealing with melasma flare-ups. Unlike strong exfoliants, rice water brightens without triggering inflammation. Fermented extracts are another powerhouse in Japanese skincare. Fermentation breaks complex ingredients into smaller, more absorbable molecules, meaning the skin gets more antioxidants, amino acids, and vitamins with less irritation. These extracts calm redness, regulate melanin activity, and repair the skin's protective layer. Brightening starts with reducing inflammation because inflamed skin produces excess pigment. This is why Japanese routines prioritize soothing first, brightening second. Healthy skin fades dark spots faster. Kojic acid is one of the most well-known Japanese brightening ingredients, created naturally during the fermentation of sake, soy, or rice. Scientifically, it works by inhibiting tyrosinase, an enzyme your skin needs to produce melanin. By slowing this process gently, kojic acid reduces new pigmentation while helping existing dark spots fade over time. The reason it's often recommended for melasma is because it doesn't rely on harsh exfoliation. It simply regulates the pigment cycle. This makes it one of the safest and most stable natural skin lightening agents. Many people call kojic acid the gold standard for melasma because it delivers noticeable results with consistent use. Green tea antioxidants play a different but equally important role. They don't bleach or lighten, instead, they stop oxidative stress, the silent cause of dull skin and stubborn pigmentation. UV exposure, pollution, stress, and even heat can trigger melanin production. The catechins in green tea neutralize the free radicals that activate this pigment response. When the skin is under less oxidative stress, dark spots fade more easily and new ones form more slowly. Green tea also calms redness and inflammation, which is essential for anyone with reactive melasma. Its calming effect is one reason Japanese routines work so well even for sensitive skin types. The deeper philosophy behind Japanese brightening methods is simple: brightness comes from balance. Instead of peeling or scrubbing away pigmentation, these ingredients reduce inflammation, regulate melanin, and strengthen the skin barrier. When the barrier is healthy, the pigment cycle stabilizes. When melanin is stable, dark spots fade, and when inflammation goes down, melasma becomes more manageable. This is the opposite of Western routines that often push strong acids and high-strength bleaching agents, which can backfire by triggering more hyperpigmentation. What ties all these Japanese ingredients together is their antioxidant strength, melanin regulating abilities, and barrier supporting benefits. They brighten steadily, safely, and predictably, making them ideal for long-term treatment of pigmentation concerns. They don't create quick, dramatic changes. Instead, they build a stronger skin foundation that looks clearer, brighter, and more even with consistent use. When you combine rice water for radiance, fermented extracts for soothing, kojic acid for melanin control, and green tea for antioxidant protection, you get a routine that addresses every stage of the pigmentation process. That's what makes Japanese brightening science so unique. It's gentle enough for sensitive skin, but powerful enough for stubborn melasma. Which ingredient do you want me to break down next? Comment the name. The Japanese brightening method works so well because it follows a precise sequence designed to protect the skin barrier while gradually reducing pigmentation. The routine isn't rushed or aggressive. Every step has a purpose: soften the skin, calm inflammation, regulate melanin, and seal in hydration. When these steps are performed consistently, the skin becomes clearer, brighter, and naturally more even-toned. Here's how to follow the technique safely at home with the same gentle, effective approach used in Japanese skincare. Start with cleansing, which is the foundation of every Japanese routine. If you wear sunscreen or makeup, begin with a lightweight oil cleanse using soft, circular motions. Oil binds to debris, sunscreen, and excess sebum without stripping the skin. Rinse with lukewarm water, never hot, and follow with a gentle, low-foam cleanser. Japanese cleansing focuses on softness, so avoid scrubbing or using rough cloths. The goal is to create a clean, hydrated canvas, not a squeaky, tight feeling that signals damage to the barrier. Once cleansed, preparation is key. Japanese routines use a hydrating toner or essence to boost water levels in the skin, making it more receptive to brightening ingredients. Apply it with your hands instead of cotton, gently pressing it into the skin. This step instantly plumps the surface and helps the next products penetrate more evenly. Hydrated skin processes pigmentation more efficiently and reduces the risk of irritation. Now apply the traditional brightening method. If using rice water, fermented extracts, or a kojic acid-based serum, apply a thin layer and let it sit for about a minute to fully absorb. Use light, upward strokes. Japanese skincare avoids dragging or tugging. If your skin is sensitive, start with every other night and increase slowly. These ingredients work by calming inflammation and controlling melanin, so they don't need force to be effective. Patience and consistency matter far more than intensity. Layering in Japanese skincare prioritizes hydration. After your brightening layer, seal everything in with a lightweight moisturizer that strengthens the barrier. Ingredients like ceramides, glycerin, and squalane are ideal because they reinforce the skin and prevent dryness, which can worsen pigmentation. This step also locks the brightening actives in place, allowing them to work longer and more steadily. During the day, sunscreen is non-negotiable. UV exposure is the fastest way to undo pigmentation progress. Choose a high-quality Japanese sunscreen if possible. They are known for being lightweight, hydrating, and incredibly protective. Apply generously and reapply if you're spending time outdoors. Without sun protection, even the best brightening routine will struggle to deliver results. Timing is an important part of this method. Cleansing and preparation typically take 2 to 3 minutes. Brightening serums should sit long enough to absorb, not rushed, and nighttime routines usually take around 5 to 7 minutes total. The goal isn't speed, it's intention. Each product has a moment to work. In terms of results, many people notice a soft glow and smoother skin texture within a few days. Hydration improves quickly. Pigmentation takes longer because melanin lives in deeper layers. With consistent use, most people see visible brightening and reduced dullness by week 2 or 3. Stubborn melasma often requires 6 to 8 weeks of steady routine, but the progress is stable and long, lasting because the method strengthens the skin while treating it. One of the biggest advantages of this Japanese technique is that it avoids the rebound effect that often happens with harsh treatments. By reducing inflammation and supporting the barrier, the skin becomes calmer, clearer, and far more resilient. Over time, the complexion looks brighter and more even without the irritation, peeling, or sensitivity that can make pigmentation worse. This step-by-step routine works because it follows biology, not shortcuts. It respects the skin's natural rhythm, stabilizes melanin activity, and builds a healthier foundation for long-term clarity. Want a printable version of this routine? Comment routine. This Japanese method fades dark spots and melasma faster than many over-the-counter options because it targets pigmentation at every stage instead of just treating the surface. Most brightening products try to exfoliate or bleach away discoloration, but that often irritates the skin, especially for people with melasma. Irritation leads to more inflammation, and inflammation triggers even more melanin. That's why harsh treatments can sometimes make stubborn pigmentation worse. The Japanese approach avoids all of that by regulating melanin formation gently and consistently. What makes this method so effective is how it works on melanin at multiple points in the pigment cycle. Kojic acid slows the enzyme tyrosinase, which is responsible for producing melanin in the first place. Fermented extracts help regulate how melanin is transferred into the skin cells. Green tea antioxidants disrupt the oxidative stress that signals the skin to produce excess pigmentation. Rice water supports a healthier skin barrier, helping the skin shed old pigment cells more evenly. When you combine these actions, the pigmentation pathway becomes calmer and more controlled, allowing existing dark spots to fade more quickly while preventing new ones from forming. Another reason this method works fast is because it prioritizes calming inflammation. Melasma is strongly influenced by heat, irritation, and internal stress. Over-the-counter acids, scrubs, and bleaching creams often inflame the skin even if they brighten initially. Once inflammation increases, melasma can rebound aggressively. Japanese brightening routines avoid this completely. Fermented ingredients, green tea, and hydrating toners all reduce inflammation, soothe the skin, and stabilize melanin production. When the skin is calm, it stops overproducing pigment, and that alone accelerates fading. This technique also improves overall skin brightness, which is a major factor in how fast pigmentation appears to lighten. Hydrated skin reflects more light naturally, giving the appearance of a clearer and more even complexion. But beyond appearance, hydration actually helps pigment fade faster biologically. When the skin is well hydrated, cell turnover becomes smoother and more organized. New skin cells move upward in a healthy cycle, allowing older pigment-stained cells to shed more evenly. Dry or irritated skin holds onto pigmentation longer because the barrier is compromised. This is why Japanese skincare emphasizes moisture first, brightening second. Hydration amplifies the results. Antioxidants play a critical role in speeding up healing too. Every time the skin experiences stress UV exposure, heat, pollution, friction, it activates melanocytes, the pigment-producing cells. Antioxidants neutralize those stress signals before they can trigger discoloration. Green tea, fermented rice extracts, and other traditional Japanese ingredients provide a constant antioxidant shield that slows down melanin formation while helping existing pigment break apart more efficiently. This dual action is why people often see quicker improvement when combining antioxidants with gentle brightening ingredients. What also sets Japanese methods apart is how they protect the barrier during every step. When the barrier is strong, melanin stays more regulated. A healthy barrier prevents inflammation, slows irritation, and keeps the skin's internal environment stable. OTC methods that rely on strong acids or bleaching agents often compromise the barrier, which becomes a long-term obstacle to fading dark spots. The Japanese approach never puts the skin into distress, allowing continuous improvement without setbacks. When you apply this routine consistently, cleansing gently, hydrating thoroughly, layering brightening ingredients without overloading the skin, the pigment cycle gradually becomes more balanced. Dark spots soften within a couple of weeks. Overall brightness improves quickly, and melasma becomes more controlled over time. Many people notice that the results are not only fast, but also long, lasting because the skin is healthier throughout the process. This method works quickly not because it's aggressive, but because it follows skin science closely. Regulate pigment, calm inflammation, replenish hydration, strengthen the barrier, and protect from oxidative stress. These steps address the root causes of pigmentation, not just the surface color. Do you struggle more with dark spots or melasma? Comment spots or melasma. One of the best parts of this Japanese brightening method is that you can amplify the results even further with a few dermatologist-aligned strategies. The goal is to support the skin from multiple angles: hydration, inflammation control, melanin regulation, and barrier protection, without overwhelming it. When combined thoughtfully, modern skincare and traditional Japanese ingredients create a balanced routine that speeds up brightening while keeping the skin calm and healthy. Niacinamide pairs extremely well with this method because it reduces inflammation, strengthens the barrier, and helps regulate how pigment moves into skin cells. When paired with kojic acid or fermented extracts, it stabilizes melanin activity even more. Many people notice faster brightening when using niacinamide in the morning and their Japanese method at night. Vitamin C is another great addition, but it needs to be used carefully. Choose a gentle, stable form, like magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, rather than strong, acidic versions that can irritate sensitive or melasma-prone skin. Vitamin C boosts collagen, fades dark spots, and protects against free radicals, enhancing the antioxidant strength already present in Japanese ingredients. Gentle exfoliants can also help, but only in moderation. The Japanese approach focuses on calming the skin, so you want exfoliation that supports the process, not disrupts it. Polyhydroxy acids FAS or very low-strength lactic acid once or twice a week can help the skin shed pigment more evenly. Avoid harsh scrubs and high-strength AHAs. They often cause inflammation that worsens pigmentation. Overexfoliation is one of the biggest reasons people see no progress with melasma. There are also common mistakes that can slow or completely stall brightening. Using too many actives at once is one of them. When the skin becomes irritated, melanin production spikes immediately, undoing weeks of progress. Another mistake is skipping moisturizer because the skin feels oily. Hydration is critical for pigment fading, and dehydrated skin clings to discoloration longer. Not waiting long enough between product layers can also reduce effectiveness. Give brightening serums a full minute to absorb so they can work at their correct depth. Barrier protection is one of the most important things you can do to accelerate results. A damaged barrier invites inflammation, and inflammation triggers pigmentation. Stick to moisturizers with ceramides, glycerin, squalane, or rice-derived hydrators. These reinforce the barrier and help create a stable environment for brightening ingredients to work. At night, applying the Japanese method and then sealing it in with a gentle moisturizer ensures the actives stay on the skin longer and penetrate more efficiently. If you're extra dry or sensitive, a thin occlusive layer like squalane or a rice-based balm can help lock everything in. Sunscreen is non-negotiable. Melasma and dark spots can rebound within hours of UV exposure, even if you're using the most powerful brightening ingredients. UV and heat are major triggers, so choose a lightweight sunscreen you'll actually reapply. Japanese sunscreens are popular because they're incredibly comfortable, hydrating, and leave no white cast. Apply sunscreen every morning and reapply if you go outside. This alone can cut pigmentation flare-ups dramatically. Without proper sun protection, brightening routines will always have limited results. Another dermatologist-backed way to enhance results is to reduce heat exposure. Melasma is heat, sensitive, not just sun, sensitive. That means avoiding hot showers on the face, skipping saunas, and reducing time spent near hot stoves. Even small changes like washing your face with lukewarm water can make a surprising difference in pigment stability. Pairing the Japanese brightening method with these modern techniques creates a routine that respects the skin barrier, calms inflammation, regulates melanin, and prevents new pigmentation from forming. It's a comprehensive, scientifically aligned approach that leads to steady, noticeable improvements. The key is consistency, patience, and avoiding anything that puts the skin under stress. Should I make a full guide on pigment-safe morning routines? Comment morning, this traditional Japanese brightening method does more than fade dark spots and melasma. It gradually transforms the skin's overall health by strengthening the barrier, improving hydration, and reducing long-term inflammation. Japanese skincare has always centered around the idea that healthy skin heals faster, looks brighter, and resists future pigmentation. That's why this method is designed not just for quick improvement, but for long-term resilience. Hydration is one of the core pillars of this method. Rice water, fermented ingredients, and lightweight Japanese toners deliver deep moisture that supports the lipid barrier. When the skin's water levels are stable, the cells function more efficiently, turnover becomes more organized, and the surface stays smooth. Hydrated skin is less reactive to heat, UV exposure, and irritation, three major triggers for pigmentation. Over time, consistent hydration helps the skin maintain a naturally radiant glow without relying on strong acids or harsh brightening treatments. Fermented ingredients contribute to barrier strength in a different way. Fermentation breaks ingredients into smaller, bioavailable molecules that can penetrate more effectively with less irritation. These fermented extracts provide amino acids, vitamins, and antioxidants that rebuild the skin's protective layer. They help fill microscopic gaps in the barrier, making the skin more resilient to external stress. A strong barrier is the most reliable defense against future dark spots because it prevents inflammation, one of the leading causes of melanin overproduction. Calming botanicals like green tea, rice bran, and plant-based antioxidants soothe redness and reduce chronic inflammation. When the skin is constantly inflamed, melanin becomes unstable and pigmentation occurs more easily. Japanese botanicals help break that cycle by keeping the skin calm. When your skin stays calm, melasma stays more controlled, dark spots fade more predictably, and your overall tone becomes clearer over time. As the barrier strengthens, people often notice improvements beyond pigmentation. Texture becomes smoother because the skin can hold hydration better. Oil production becomes more balanced because the skin no longer overcompensates for dryness. Pores may look smaller because the skin stays elastic and hydrated. Many people also find that their skin becomes less reactive to new products or environmental stress because the barrier is doing its job, protecting and regulating. Preventing new pigmentation is one of the biggest advantages of this long-term method. A strong barrier means fewer inflammatory triggers, which means fewer melanin spikes. When melanin stays regulated, pigmentation fades faster and returns more slowly. This is why people who follow Japanese routines for several months often experience clearer, more even skin that remains stable even in warmer seasons or under daily sun exposure. Long-term use of this method also aligns perfectly with the Japanese philosophy of maintenance rather than aggressive treatment. Instead of shocking the skin with high percentages, harsh acids, or bleaching agents, this method takes a steady approach that delivers continuous improvement. Japanese skincare avoids unnecessary damage because every disruption to the barrier leads to setbacks. The goal is to create an environment where the skin naturally functions at its best, balanced, hydrated, calm, and resilient. Over weeks and months, the skin begins to look healthier from multiple angles, brighter from melanin regulation, smoother from consistent hydration, clearer from reduced inflammation, and more youthful from antioxidant protection. This long-term transformation is why these techniques have lasted generations in Japan. The results don't fade as soon as you stop exfoliating or applying an active. They're built into the skin's improved health. The method also teaches the skin to rely less on harsh products. As the barrier strengthens, many people find they no longer need heavy exfoliants or strong treatments because the skin regulates pigmentation on its own. This sustainable, balanced approach means fewer flare-ups, fewer setbacks, and more predictable progress for anyone dealing with pigmentation issues. This Japanese method works long-term because it prioritizes the right things: hydration, calmness, barrier support, and consistent routines. These factors form the foundation of healthy, glowing, even-toned skin that stays bright for years, not just weeks. Want me to compare this method with Korean skincare brightening? Comment Korea. Maintaining bright, clear pigmentation, free skin after following the Japanese brightening method requires a thoughtful, consistent long-term routine. The key principle is balance, keeping the skin hydrated, calm, and protected while supporting natural cell turnover without triggering inflammation. For melasma-prone skin, this approach ensures that the results achieved with the Japanese method last indefinitely. Rather than fading as soon as the routine is paused, start with weekly planning. Gentle exfoliation once or twice a week is ideal for removing accumulated dead cells that can dull the complexion and trap pigment. Polyhydroxy acids or very mild lactic acid treatments work best, as they accelerate cell turnover without irritating the skin. Avoid harsh scrubs or high-strength AHAs, which can inflame the skin and provoke new pigmentation. After exfoliation, follow immediately with hydrating toners and serums containing rice water, fermented extracts, or kojic acid to continue regulating melanin production and soothing any micro-inflammation. Hydration cycles play a critical role in long-term maintenance. Morning and evening use lightweight barrier, supporting moisturizers rich in ceramides, glycerin, or squalane to lock in water and prevent dryness. Induced melanin overproduction. Well, hydrated skin reflects light better, which helps your complexion look instantly brighter while supporting the gradual fading of dark spots and melasma over time. Hydration also ensures that any brightening actives penetrate efficiently and work at the right depth. Antioxidant protection is another cornerstone of this routine. Green tea extracts vitamin C and niacinamide help neutralize free radicals caused by UV exposure, pollution, or stress. These antioxidants prevent oxidative triggers that activate melanocytes, reducing the risk of new pigmentation forming. Including antioxidant-rich products in both morning and evening routines ensures continuous defense and enhances the results from the Japanese brightening method. Daily habits complement these topical routines. Consistent sunscreen application is non-negotiable, ideally SPF 30 or higher, and reapplication throughout the day protects against UV-induced melanin spikes. Avoid prolonged exposure to heat sources such as hot showers, saunas, or direct sunlight. since melasma is highly heat sensitive. Gentle cleansing, minimal touching of the face, and using hypoallergenic products further reduce the risk of triggering pigment formation. Seasonal adjustments are important for maintaining results year-round. In summer, increase hydration and emphasize sunscreen, adding antioxidant serums to counteract higher UV exposure. In winter, focus on barrier support and moisturizing, since cold, dry air can lead to dehydration that exacerbates pigment retention. Layering hydrating essences and moisturizers during the colder months keeps the skin soft, supple, and less prone to flare-ups. Long-term Japanese brightening maintenance also relies on patience and consistency. Avoid jumping between strong bleaching treatments or high-concentration acids, which often backfire and cause rebound pigmentation. Instead, stick with gentle actives, regular hydration, and daily protection. Over time, the skin barrier strengthens, melanin regulation becomes more stable, and dark spots or melasma fade naturally and remain under control. When executed consistently, this maintenance routine delivers multiple benefits beyond pigment prevention. Texture becomes smoother as dead cells shed evenly, oil production stabilizes, and overall brightness improves due to a combination of hydration and controlled melanin activity. The skin becomes resilient, less reactive, and better able to handle environmental stressors without triggering new discoloration. This is why the Japanese method paired with long-term maintenance creates sustainable, glowing results rather than temporary fixes. By following weekly exfoliation, daily hydration, antioxidant protection, sun defense, and seasonal adjustments, your skin remains balanced, bright, and even-toned. The Japanese brightening method isn't just a short-term treatment, it's a framework for lifelong pigment control, allowing you to enjoy radiant, clear skin for years without resorting to harsh, aggressive interventions. Should I create a weekly brightening checklist? Comment checklist.